Hello everybody. Today topic of discussion is structure and function of hemoglobin and myoglobin. You all know the hemoglobin is a conjugated protein whose protein part is globin and not protein part is heme. So first of all, the non-protein part, that is the very important part, that is the heme. The chemical name of heme is iron protoporphyrin 3. Iron protoporphyrin 3 is composed of 4 pyrrole ring, which is substituted and linked by methynyl bridges. At the center there is a iron in ferrous state. You all know the iron in ferrous state has 6 valencies. Here the ferrous state of iron link 4 valencies are joined with the 4 pyrrole ring. 5th valency linked with the proximal histidine of the 1 globin chain, and 6th valency linked with the distal histidine in deoxygenated state by the water molecule, and in oxygenated state joins with the oxygen So this is the heme portion, and in the substituted groups are methyl group, propyl group, methyl group, vinyl group, methyl group, vinyl group, methyl group, propyl group and methyl group. These are the substituted groups attached with the pyrrole. So that's all for the heme. Then globin. Globin is a protein part of the hemoglobin. As we know, most of the proteins has a different level of organization. That is the primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, quaternary structure. In hemoglobin, the protein part, that is the globin portion, is the native conformation of the globin is quaternary structure. So here all the 4 levels of organizations are present. So we will discuss the different level of organization starting from the primary structure. Globin, the primary structure is, it consists of 4 polypeptide chains, 2 identical alpha chain, 2 identical beta chain. Each alpha chain is composed of 141 amino acid and each beta chain is composed of 146 amino acids. And in 1 molecule of globin there are 38 molecules of histidines are present. responsible for buffering action. The proximal histidine that is attached with the fifth valency of iron, ferrous iron, is 87th position of amino acid, that is the histidine, which is the nearest toward the iron. Distal histidine is the 58th amino acid, that is the another histidine, which is the furthest amino acid from iron. This is the primary structure, that is the linear structure of globin. Second, the secondary level, that is the next higher level of organization, that is the it composed of all the polypeptide chains forms the 8 alpha helical segments joined by non-helical randomly coiled segments. This is the secondary structure, that is the only the alpha helix. Then the tertiary structure, that is the next higher level of organization. The polypeptide chains are arranged in such a way that all the hydrophobic amino acids arranged within the core of the protein and all the hydrophilic amino acids arranged in the periphery of the molecule, so that you get a globular protein that is very much soluble in the blood, that is the aqueous solvent. All the substituted groups, that is the maximum, the methyl group and the vinyl groups, are situated within the central core of the globin, that is the hydrophobic pocket, and the vinyl propyl group are situated in the periphery. So these are the tertiary structure, or the iron in ferrous state are situated within the core. These are the tertiary structure. Then the most higher level organization, that is the native conformation of the hemoglobin, the globin, that is the quaternary structure. Quaternary structure, the containing 4 chains are held together by hydrophobic bond, electrostatic bond, and hydrogen bond. Among these, the hydrophobic interactions thought to be the most important non-covalent bond responsible for the quaternary structure. So, in short, the number of histidine molecule present in the amino globin chain is the 38. Proximal histidine is the 87th amino acid, that is the histidine. Distal histidine is the 58th position of the amino acid of the alpha chain. Then the function of hemoglobin. What are the function of the hemoglobin? It is a very important protein present in our blood. The function of hemoglobin is isohydric transport of carbon dioxide and oxygen within the blood. That means it transports the carbon dioxide from the tissue to the lung, and the transport of oxygen from lung to the tissue. Isohydric, what do you mean by that? That is, during this process there is no change in the blood pH, and the next function is it acts as a buffer. That means it's also linked with the first function. That means these are the two functions of the hemoglobin. So how the hemoglobin act for the transportation of carbon dioxide and oxygen, and simultaneously the buffering action? First of all, at tissue level, we think that at the tissue level, the carbon dioxide is formed within the tissue. How it is formed? By the metabolic process. Then this carbon dioxide is diffused from the tissue to the RBC, enters into the RBC, and nextly this carbon dioxide joins with the water to form carbonic acid by a particular enzyme present within the RBC, that is a zinc containing enzyme, that is the carbonic anhydrase. Then as it is a weak acid, it dissociated into two parts, hydrogen ion or bicarbonate ion. Then this bicarbonate ion comes out from the RBC. Simultaneously, to maintain the electrical neutrality, another anion enters into the RBC from ECF, that is the chloride, and this antipose system, this phenomena is called chloride shift or Hamburger effect. Then other part of the what will be the other fate what will be the fate of other part of the carbonic acid, that is the hydrogen ion. Hydrogen ion binds with the oxyhemoglobin to form reduced hemoglobin and the carbon dioxide oxygen, and this oxygen is liberated into the tissue from the RBC. So at the tissue level, the carbon dioxide enters into the RBC from the tissue, and the oxygen that is transported from the lung as a oxyhemoglobin is delivered to the tissue. Next, when this RBC that contains reduced hemoglobin goes into the lung, what happened? Into the lung, oxygen enters from the atmosphere, and this, when the oxygen binds with the reduced hemoglobin, it forms oxyhemoglobin and the hydrogen ion. This hydrogen ion binds with the bicarbonate ion to form carbonic acid. What is the source of this bicarbonate ion? Bicarbonate enters from the ECF to the RBC. Simultaneously, again to maintain the electrical neutrality, chloride ion comes out from the RBC, and this is called reverse chloride shift. Next, what will be the fate of the carbonic acid that is formed? This carbonic acid broken down into carbon dioxide and water by the same amino acid, same enzyme, that is the carbonic anhydrase. and this carbon dioxide enters into the lung and comes out from the lung into the atmosphere. So what happens at the lung level? Oxygen enters into the RBC from the lung, and the carbon dioxide that is transported from the tissue goes into the comes out through the lung. This is the first function of the hemoglobin. Second function is it acts as a buffer. How? During this transportation, there is no change of pH. There is a liberation of hydrogen ion, but this hydrogen ion joins with the hemoglobin to form reduced hemoglobin. So there is no change of blood pH, because pH, that means it is acts as a buffer. What do you mean by the buffer? Buffer is a composed of weak acid and its conjugate base. Here the weak acid is the HHB and conjugate base is hemoglobin, oxyhemoglobin. So these are the buffering action of the RBC. So that's all. That is the function of hemoglobin. Then when oxygen binds with the hemoglobin for the transportation, what happens? When one molecule of oxygen binds with the one molecule of heme, there is increased affinity of other heme residue towards the oxygen, and thus each successive addition of oxygen increases the affinity of hemoglobin to the oxygen synergistically. This is called homotrophic action. That is called cooperability. That is heme-heme interaction or cooperability. Similarly, binding of 2,3-BPG at the site other than oxygen lowers the affinity for the oxygen. This is called heterotrophic interaction. This is the heterotrophic interaction when the one molecule of oxygen, but first of all, in deoxygenated state, it is called the dot position conformation. Here the 4 salt bridges are present, 2,3-BPG bound. Then when the oxygen is, one molecule of oxygen is bound, one salt bridge is removed, broken. Then another oxygen is when bound, another salt bridge is broken. Then another molecule of oxygen is bound. When bound, another salt bridge is broken down and 2,3-BPG is removed. And lastly, when fourth oxygen molecule is bound, then all the salt bridges is broken down, and this conformation is called R conformation. That is the relaxed conformation, HbO6. So this is the how the 2,3-BPG and the oxygen interact with the hemoglobin. Then the myoglobin. That's all the structure and function of the hemoglobin. Then the similar conjugated protein, chromoprotein, present in our body, that is in the muscle, we call myoglobin. the structure of the myoglobin and the hemoglobin almost same. It has got the iron in ferrous state. Heme portion is almost same, but the globin portion is different. What are the different that will be discussed? That is, the first point is that it is composed of 4 heme and 4 polypeptide chain. In myoglobin, it's composed of 1 heme and 1 polypeptide chain. So, hemoglobin 4 molecules of oxygen can bound, but in myoglobin 1 molecule of oxygen bonds with 1 molecule of myoglobin. Then in case of hemoglobin, alpha chain is composed of 141 amino acid and beta chain is composed of 146 amino acid. Myoglobin is composed of 1 polypeptide chain and is composed of 152 amino acid. Next point, heme is attached to each globin chain at proximal and distal histidine is at the 2 point by the 5th and 6th valence respectively in case of hemoglobin. And in case of myoglobin, heme is attached to the globin chain at 92 histidine residue, that is the proximal histidine by the 5th valency. 6th valency of deoxygenated myoglobin remain free, and in myoglobin binds to the oxygen. Next, cooperative effect and the 2,3-BPG binding effect are present in case of hemoglobin, seen in the hemoglobin, but in case of myoglobin it is not seen. Bohr effect is also present in case of hemoglobin, but in case of myoglobin is not present. Ultimately, hemoglobin has the low affinity towards the oxygen, but in case of myoglobin, as there is a no cooperative 2,3-BPG effect, binding effect, so the oxygen affinity towards the myoglobin is more. And that's all for the first lecture of hemoglobin and myoglobin structure and function.